Hey everybody, Tyler here, Boulevard Home. We have a brand new product review for you today. We are reviewing this all-in-one washer and dryer from LG. Model number's right here. So how we're gonna compare it today and share an honest review is we're gonna compare it to what's out there in the market that can fit in similar locations. Right here to my left, we have a Samsung front-load washer and a front-load dryer. How does that compare to the LG? We'll get into that in just a second. Over here, all the way over here, we have a traditional all-in-one washer and dryer. This is the style you've seen for 30 years. We're gonna go over pros and cons of what makes it great and what some of the disadvantages are as well. Let's first off look at the look. The look is amazing, and that is what stands out the most. As you can see here, there's only one control panel right here in the middle. What that means is it's accessible. You can access both the controls for the dryer is on this top section and the washer, which is the bottom section. When you compare that to, say, the Samsung here stackable unit, the control panel for the washer is here, but the control panel for the dryer is way up here. This is a huge disadvantage, especially if you're shorter. If I'm 6'2", and it's still pretty high. So if you're much shorter than that, it makes it difficult. You may have to have a step stool to even see the controls of a traditional front-load washer and dryer stacked unit. The traditional, it is all-in-one control panel, so it has some of the similar functionality here versus here, but gives you a much quicker, much sleeker look and easier access because it's a control panel which is touch as well. So the second thing I want to cover today is capacity on this new LG all-in-one unit. As you look at it, the doors seem very similar. The capacity on the washer is a 4.5 cubic capacity. That is considered a large size washer, which will fit a king size comforter and pretty much anything that you are used to washing or would like to wash. The dryers are made to where they fit whatever you can fit in the washer into the dryer. This is a 7.4 cubic foot capacity dryer, so it will dry whatever you can wash in there just as well. Comparing that to the other options here, the stackable front-load washer and dryer, it has options to get larger than that. This one is a 5.0 cubic capacity washer, so a little bit bigger than the 4.5, and then the dryer is pretty much identical to this LG unit. Versus when you go to the traditional all-in-one unit, capacities do go down. So when you look in here, this specific option, it's a top-load washer, which typically means you can't put as big of as bulky items inside of it. And then the dryer is also not quite as large, but it will dry whatever you can fit in here. So size-wise, I grade this very good. It can fit almost as big as the largest front loads out there and much better than the traditional all-in-one unit. As we just talked about the size of the capacities, I want to talk a little bit more about the dimensions of the exterior, because most of the time when any of you are thinking about getting an all-in-one unit, you are limited on the size. You can't put them side by side. You have a small closet, things like that. So as you're looking at the three, we have this great comparison here. A full-size front-load washer and dryer is going to be taller. It's going to be a little bit wider versus the all-in-one unit here. Typically, the old school is the smallest you can get to get a full-size washer and dryer, but you can see here it's even smaller than the traditional all-in-one unit. So that's, for those in tight spaces, that's a very good plus. The third pro that I have for the LG stackable unit is price. The price of this unit comes out to about $2,000. That sounds pricey, but when you compare it to comparable options like this front-load washer and dryer, it's very comparable. This Samsung washer and dryer comes out to be about $2,000 as well. Plus, you need to buy a stack kit to connect the washer and the dryer together. A little bit more economical, however, is the old school washer and dryer. It does come a little less expensive, but overall I see that as a positive for this new LG all-in-one. Now, as we go into some of the cons, let me share with you a couple things here that I think the other units do have an advantage over. So the first con I want to talk about is just usability. If you change your mind down the road and you feel like an all-in-one unit is not for you, you don't have the option like this one to separate them and have two separate units. However, it's similar to the old one, and most of the time when you need an all-in-one unit, that fits your space and your needs. Second is there is a lot of functionality with the control board. However, it's in a different spot. You may not be used to controlling both washer and dryer in the same spot. And then there's been Some worry that there's not as many options here as you would get on an up-to-date front load washer and dryer. There are more features here. You get a lot more buttons, you get a lot more uses. So if you love to use those custom options that you find on front load washers, then you may lose some of that functionality with this new LG unit. However, it does have more than the traditional unit here, so it's not a horrible disadvantage, but it is something you need to be aware of. One additional challenge that a lot of people have had as they've purchased this machine is they're super excited to use the Wi-Fi function. That's what's cool. Yes, it has a Wi-Fi function which you can track your loads, cycles. However, a lot of the feedback there is it's not user-friendly, and there's still some challenges that LG is working through to get it correct. Another con as you're looking at an all-in-one unit is, since it is one unit, if you have an issue with the washer or the dryer, you have to have a service call done on the entire unit versus a washer and dryer over here. It's a separate unit. If you, for some reason, have a dryer that does go bad, you can replace just the dryer, whereas in this case, it's all one unit. Now that's the same as the traditional all-in-one unit, but that is a con that you need to be aware of that could, down the road, put you in a situation that's maybe not ideal. So the last negative or con per se I want to talk about is the filter that they've added in the washer. Some of the new washers out there are all getting filters, but this one does have a filter. So down here at the washer, you open this up and then you need to unscrew their filter and it catches things that may be caught in here. They recommend changing this once a month. This may be a hassle, it may not be, but they do recommend checking it once a month. You may find that it doesn't need to be checked that often, but that is something they do recommend you doing, whereas the traditional all-in-one unit does not do that, and a lot of the front load washers do not either. Overall, our review on this machine is very positive. We feel like there's been great features they've added. LG is coming out with some very unique and new ideas, so I don't think you'd be disappointed if this fits what you're looking for. Please subscribe to our channel for other great tips, other reviews, information for you as you are looking at appliance needs. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.